Heroes Toy Reviews is not intended for children or anyone under the age of 17.
Today on Heroes Toy Reviews, we will be reviewing Superpowers Nightwing.
Hebro77 here, and welcome to a brand new YouTube channel. This is Hebro's Toy Reviews. This is the 1983 Jump Jetpack. I just broke his crotch. What do you think about her? I was playing tennis with Super.
These are games. This is the owner, Daniel.
Hello everybody and welcome to Heroes Toy Reviews. I'm your host Hebro77 here, and today we will be reviewing Superpowers Nightwing. Now, Nightwing was not in the original toy line of the Superpowers collection, but with the new Superpowers McFarlane toys, here he is. And I've got to say, honestly, before we even get to the actual review itself, I think he looks awesome, and he goes great with those 4/4-inch figures from the 90s, like the DC Superpowers Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, what not have you, and a lot of the retro 90s Batman the Animated Series collection as well. But today we're going to take a look at this action figure, and we're going to talk a little bit about his history and how Nightwing got to be. So here we have Superpowers Nightwing. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Nightwing, aka Dick Grayson, aka the first Robin. Now, Dick Grayson had outgrown the Robin mantle and had taken up the mantle of Nightwing. He got tired of having to live under the shadow of Batman and having to go by Bruce's rules, so he hit the road and developed a persona all of his own. Now, I've always argued that this version of Nightwing was better suited for the movie Batman and Robin than him being like Robin in Batman and Robin. I always thought that it was leading up to him becoming Nightwing, because the costume that they actually had on him looked more like the Nightwing costume than it did the Robin costume, and I think that's what they might have been going for at first, but who knows, that entire movie was a hot mess. So anyway, we're here today to talk about Superpowers Nightwing. Now, the original Superpowers toy line never featured Nightwing, because at that time Nightwing had not been developed yet. It was the mid-80s, I do believe, and we were still getting the campiness of the DC universe. So we have Nightwing here, and I love the cover art of this. I love this design. It's straight out of the comic books. Of course, all of these McFarlane Superpowers action figures have come with great comic booky designs, and even the action figures themselves resemble that remark. As you see Nightwing here with his two little batons that he used for fighting. Now, I thought he came with a full-length bow, kind of like Donatello, but these are pretty cool. I like these. He's got one in each hand. He can really whoop some butt. And as we take a look at the back of the package here, this is something I would really like to get into, collecting some of the vehicles I've mentioned this time and time again, but on the back here you can see all the other action figures, the ones that we've talked about. I may need to shine some light on the subject. There we go. And as you can see, we've talked about Superman, we've talked about Doomsday, we talked about Batman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, and now we are talking about Nightwing. He comes in at number 8. Actually, I forgot the Green Lantern. I'm going to have to do something on the Green Lantern. Even though I don't know very much about the character of the Green Lantern, we could still talk about him. Now, Dick Grayson, here's his file card. As you know, each one of these comes with a file card. So we are going to read this one. Dick Grayson began... Maybe I'll turn the light off because there's a little bit of glare on there. There we go. Dick Grayson began his crime-fighting career as the original Robin, Batman's protege and crime-fighting partner. An expert acrobat and skilled fighter, Dick Grayson eventually left the nest and ventured out on his own as a new hero called Nightwing. Dick Grayson... What? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess that was it. The rest of this is just other languages. So there you have it. There's the complete and accurate description of Nightwing. And now that we've seen the carded version of this figure, let's see what he looks like on the outside of the blister packaging. Okay, a little PSA here. If you're taking these things out of the blister packaging, do not do this maneuver where you pop, because you could risk losing one of the accessories, which I seem to have done here. I lost one of his batons. But anyway, we will go ahead and review the figure irregardless. So here we have Nightwing straight out of the package. Straight out of the package. Sounds like straight out of Compton. But anyway, and gosh dang, man, he looks amazing. I mean, like, if you had this to compare with the animated series, which I hated the design on the animated series because it was more... of a product of that time. He had a mullet and stuff like that, and here he's got the just regular Dick Grayson type haircut, and I love it. And so yeah, I mean, you got Nightwing with the traditional costume. The blue goes all the way down his arms here on the front, and I love how it kind of looks like it gives him wings, almost like they go from the shoulder blade all the way to the first two fingers there, and then he just looks absolutely amazing as Nightwing. Now, I always thought that maybe Nightwing could use a cape, but honestly I think a cape would just hinder a lot of his movements, and as Robin that was kind of the case. But I'm just so used to seeing capes on all the superheroes. And even Wonder Woman nowadays has a cape. But this design is much better than the animated series design. I love it. And what else can I say? I've got the big tall one. And eventually I will find his other accessory. I wish I had it right now, since I am doing a review on this action figure, but I digress. Well, folks, I looked everywhere. I flipped the mats, I looked underneath the dresser, underneath the bed. Nowhere could I find his other baton. So, yes, be careful when opening those blister packs. But the review must go on. So, what do I think of this Superpowers Nightwing? Man, I highly recommend him for your Superpowers collection. And not only just your Superpowers collection, but heck, I'd recommend him for anybody's Batman collection. And that concludes this review. Thank you. Man, I wish I could find that baton. Well, that does it for this review, but tune in because next week we will be talking about Superpowers Brainiac. Here's a little view, or a little preview, I should say, of him for next week's review. Or, well, it might not be next week, it might be tomorrow. I don't know. But until next time, just remember, knowing isn't just half the battle, it's the whole damn war. See you next time.
From the farthest reaches of the universe to challenge the worst villains on Earth are the most powerful heroes ever in the battle of the Superpowers Collection. What's this? The dam's about to blow and take Robin with it? Who'll stop the Joker and Luthor?
Aquaman!
Kenner's new Superpowers Collection. Figures with power action, each sold separately with its own mini-comic.
Aquaman's down!
Who can help now? A power ring, a power action punch.
Defuse the bomb!
Can this madness be stopped in time? You decide.